Ukraine's drone war is working. Russia's refineries are burning. Crimea is being isolated. So Zelensky fired the man who built it. Mykhailo Fedorov, 6 months in the job, is out. No explanation given. Thousands are protesting outside the presidential office. A deputy Air Force commander has resigned in protest. Ukraine is winning and fighting itself. Ukraine has reshuffled its wartime leadership, but one decision has overshadowed all the others. President Volodymyr Zelensky has removed Defence Minister Mykhailo Fedorov, the architect of Ukraine's drone warfare strategy, despite recent battlefield successes. The move has triggered public protests, resignations within the military, and renewed questions over divisions at the highest levels of Ukraine's defence establishment. Mykhailo Fedorov, just 35 years old, had served as defence minister for only 6 months after previously leading Ukraine's digital transformation. During his tenure, he became closely associated with Kyiv's expanding drone program, championing Ukrainian startups that developed unmanned systems capable of slowing Russian advances and striking military targets hundreds of miles inside Russia. Fedorov also oversaw the development of mid-range drones that helped isolate occupied Crimea, while introducing reforms aimed at improving conditions for frontline troops.
Crimea has become a target for Ukrainian drones. I think this issue is related to a new technological stage of the war and the ability of Ukrainian drones to use technologies that allow for such operations. The technological development of our country led to the fact that, at the moment, we have the opportunity to carry out such operations. And we are working to ensure that this technological capacity grows every day so that we have the opportunity to carry out new operations with new strength, not only in Crimea.
In a statement following his dismissal, he said Ukraine had procured more drones in 4 months than during the entire previous year and had launched support programs for modern drone assault units. He also pointed to fixed-term military contracts and significantly higher salaries for infantry and assault troops as key reforms introduced during his time in office. Despite those achievements, the Ukrainian presidency announced a sweeping government reshuffle without explaining why Fedorov had been removed. Shortly beforehand, President Zelensky had stressed the need for dialogue between the army and defense ministry, saying unity was Ukraine's greatest strength and that both institutions needed to share the same vision. His remarks appeared to acknowledge growing disagreements between Fedorov and Commander-in-Chief General Alexander Syrsky over how the war should be fought. The decision immediately sparked a backlash. Thousands of demonstrators gathered outside the president's office in central Kyiv, chanting "reappoint" and demanding that Fedorov be returned to his post. The protest took place near the Ivan Franko Theatre, a location that has become symbolic of anti-government demonstrations since large protests there in 2025. The unrest spread beyond the streets. Deputy Commander of Ukraine's Air Force, Pavlo Yelizarov, announced his resignation, describing Fedorov's dismissal as a great evil for the country's defense capability. Soldiers, veterans, lawmakers, and civil society figures also criticized the decision, arguing Ukraine was losing one of its most effective wartime officials without a clear explanation. Meanwhile, Zelensky has nominated Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko to replace Fedorov as defense minister, although the appointment still requires parliamentary approval and has already faced resistance from some lawmakers within the ruling Servant of the People party. As Ukraine continues its war against Russia, the removal of the minister credited with transforming its drone campaign has exposed rare public divisions inside the country's wartime leadership. Whether the reshuffle strengthens Ukraine's military strategy or deepens existing tensions may become clear in the months ahead. Russia's nuclear bombers are burning again. Hundreds of kilometers from the battlefield, one of Moscow's most important strategic air bases has reportedly come under another Ukrainian drone attack. As flames rise over Engels 2, the Kremlin is responding not with silence, but with a warning that its nuclear forces are ready for combat. Russia's strategic Engels 2 airbase in Saratov Oblast was reportedly struck overnight on July 16th in what appears to be another long-range Ukrainian drone attack deep inside Russian territory. Russian telegram channels and local media reported explosions over the cities of Engels and Saratov, followed by fires at the military airfield. Videos shared by residents appeared to show drones flying low over the city before multiple blasts were heard. Other footage showed flames burning in the area of the airbase. Russian outlet Astra reported that its analysis of publicly available footage confirmed a fire at the Engels military installation. The extent of any damage to aircraft, ammunition depots, or military infrastructure remains unclear. The Kyiv Independent said it could not independently verify the reports, while Ukraine's military has not yet commented. Located nearly 600 kilometers from Ukraine's front line, Engels 2 is one of Russia's most strategically important air bases. It houses the 184th Heavy Bomber Aviation Regiment and the 121st Guards Heavy Bomber Aviation Regiment, operating Tupolev Tu-95, Tu-22, and Tu-160 strategic bombers. These aircraft have repeatedly been used to launch long-range missile strikes against Ukrainian cities. The base has previously been targeted by Ukrainian drones. In March 2025, a major strike reportedly triggered large secondary explosions after an ammunition storage facility caught fire. As reports of the latest attack emerged, the Kremlin issued a fresh warning about Russia's military capabilities. Speaking to Russian state news agency RIA Novosti on July 15th, presidential aide and head of Russia's Maritime Collegium, Nikolai Patrushev, declared that Russia's naval strategic nuclear forces remain in full combat readiness.
The Russian Navy is capable of ensuring the country's security across all maritime and oceanic theatres under any scenario. Our naval strategic nuclear forces maintain a state of full combat readiness. Russia is prepared to defend its national interests both near its borders and in various regions of the global ocean. The Navy was taking into account all threats posed by potential adversaries in planning its development strategy through the year 2050, including its long-term shipbuilding strategy.
The reference to the fleet's nuclear readiness comes about 2 months after Russia conducted large-scale exercises involving its nuclear forces from May 19 to 21. The drills included naval, land-based, and aerial forces. Russia's Northern and Pacific fleets took part in the exercises, which featured 73 surface ships and 13 submarines, according to the Russian Defence Ministry. 8 of the submarines were reportedly armed with strategic missiles. Despite the nuclear posturing, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Moscow had recently received an unequivocal message from China that the use of nuclear weapons was not an option. As Ukraine pushes its drone campaign ever deeper into Russian territory and Moscow responds with increasingly forceful nuclear messaging, the battle is no longer confined to the front lines. It is becoming a contest of strategic reach, deterrence, and escalation, with each side seeking to shape the next phase of the war.